here are things you've probably heard us harping on when we're referring to our own projects. The first one is project scope. All of the people who have sourced your projects have laid out a scope, and so just think about kind of in the context of the time that you'll be there, what is the scope? Is it realistic? How can you anticipate it changing? What things might the organization throw at you? And how will you react to scope creep? So to the extent that they say, oh, you've done such an awesome job on this, like please do these 8 other things. How are you going to sort of react to that? In terms of deliverables, what are you intending on leaving behind based on the knowledge you have of your project today? Your client structure, what is it, who makes the decisions, who's working with you and your team on a day-to-day basis, and what information and help do you think you'll need so you can start planning for those asks of the clients? What data is required, which we've talked about. Again, is it available, where will you find it, and can you access some of it ahead of time so that you can make your life really easy when you're down there and focus on more important things. Implementation, we've touched on this again, and there are a couple of questions. How do you make sure your project is going to be implemented? So every deliverable, how will someone use it? And then the last thing are challenges that you anticipate running into, how will you overcome them? One of the biggest challenges for my project was just everyone had to speak Spanish, and I lived in Barcelona years ago, and I had not spoken my Spanish in a very long time. So just think about those little things that may impact your life and what you might need to do now to start getting ready for that. So like I was taking Spanish classes, and I still had a ways to go when I got there, but like think about those things, if there are cultural differences or if they're project specific, just that you can be prepared ahead of time so you're not surprised. Okay? So, if we can maybe do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 projects. I'm not sure. Maybe we can just go through who's here from each one. The PARI project. Okay. Do you guys want maybe like here or wherever? And then Abusa Foundation. Okay, so maybe like upper right-hand corner over there. And then who else do we have here? So there's 2 impact evolutions, Fundación Proceso. So maybe if we meet over here, and then to the extent that you want to provide after you. And then Thailand, warm heart. Oh, cool. You guys are already sort of like right there. And I think that is everyone. Sorry, just one thing really quickly. What we hope you guys can do is run through these things, and we'll give each group like 2 minutes in about 15 minutes. So yeah, like say 15. We'll have each group kind of give the highlights, and if it's like some challenges you have for your classmates, like can other people help you, or like just sort of your key takeaways so that you can kind of learn from each other. That's something that's helpful for WIBP too, is the project developers work with one another in their teams. So just have that in mind, and 15 minutes. So Rachel, Marina, and I will be rotating around to answer questions and sort of help in any way we can.
I'm right here. So you guys are part? No. Alright, sorry. I have documents on this.
So I pretty much just
So I saw that word, I saw that phrase a bunch of times instead of like project solutions.
Yeah.
What do you think impact evaluation is?
Like how they're having being affected positively.
So we're the Fundación main team. Our next step is waiting for the university to contact us to tell us that our trip is happening. After that, we'll set up a conference call with them, and so we're kind of behind probably compared to the other team, but hopefully we'll work extra hard to catch up when we get word that it's going.
We're Fundación in August, and we're basically in the same boat. I think that one of the things that our team discussed that we really like to do is find out if the organization has the information necessary that they can send to us in terms of their number of people who graduate their courses, the number of people who take their courses, and their baseline scores, so we can be able to understand or gather the information
scope was to understand, is to figure out if the NGO situation is financially sustainable and whether they can keep growing in the region.
What do you guys have here?
So we are Abusua, Ghana. Our scope is to create a business plan to turn 15 acres of land into a sustainable organic food farm. And one of our current challenges is that our NGO had just so many goals for us, and they're kind of unrealistic to achieve all in under in 3.5 weeks. So we're just trying to limit it down to one concrete deliverable that we can achieve in those 3 weeks, and that is to create a business plan with some tips on how to market and how to fundraise.
Quick question for you guys. Have any of you guys been on an organic farm before? Okay, good. Because I was going to say, it's like, you could take a field trip out of Philadelphia and visit one, at least that way you're going to arrive there and you're going to have more credibility, right?
Yeah.
So it's something to
I
use.
bet there's a ton
The
of
one
them
next
there.
door.
There's so many.
Okay, we're the other Abusua Ghana group, and our scope is basically to create a civil society incubator for youth who want to go start their own business, basically. And then I think some of the next steps that we have to take are researching different business incubators in the region that would be helpful to that, or that already exist, basically. That would be helpful to the Ghanaian people. And then, I don't know.
Just to find out more about what the actual situation is like on the ground, and talk to a lot of the groups themselves and also the other NGOs to see, what actually we can accomplish, because it seems like what they're expecting of us right now is a little unreasonable as well, but we don't quite know what we can do either, so we just need to figure out more details.
We're Thailand. And so our scope is basically to develop a marketing campaign for them to bring in more volunteers and just bring awareness to the world of their organization. And so one of the main things we're going to do is create a video, YouTube video, put it on Facebook or their website to market to new volunteers and just bring awareness. We have a lot of questions we need to ask about what exactly they want us to do. So it's, we know we're marketing to an age range of about 20 to 30-year-olds, but we need to know, we have a lot of follow-up questions we can ask them. How much is it going to cost each of these people? Should we look at the university students and grad students?
And this is their business, is connecting volunteers too. And you guys are here.
We're Prayer Project Cambodia, and our two goals are writing a new business plan and impact evaluation. So for the business plan part, we're going to ask them for the current business plan, just so we can see what their original goals were and see how they've changed and stuff. And for the impact evaluation, we're going to start looking at the community that Prayer Project serves and stuff. So they actually consult for other NGOs, so we'll look at those other NGOs to decide how they could improve.
Thank you guys so much. I hope this was somewhat helpful. We're available, so you can email us or ask any questions. We're super psyched for you for all your projects. They sound amazing. And best of luck.